Hi Year 9. I'm really pleased to see you looking at history as an option for your GCSE. In this film you'll find out about the GCSE course we run at Heath Lane Academy. First of all, I want you to have a listen to somebody explaining why they love history.
Hi, I'm Claire Ridgway, author of The Fall of Anne Boleyn, A Countdown, and creator of the Anne Boleyn Files and Tudor Society websites. Why do I love history is the question that I need to answer. Well, what I really love about my day-to-day work, which is researching Tudor history, is the fact that it's a living and breathing subject. History is not dead. We're finding new things out all the time. We're finding new things in the primary sources, in documents, and also the fact that we've all got our own points of view and we can discuss and debate. And I just love the passionate, heated discussions that we sometimes have on the Anne Boleyn Files and on social media. So that's why I love it. It's not dead, it's not boring, it's living and breathing.
Here's one of our favourite historians, John de Clare, a history teacher and a writer. He says that history is the record of everything that has ever happened to anyone, anywhere. And if you're not interested in history, then there's something wrong with you. Now, I know that is not true of our Year 9s. They love their history. So, what are you going to study? Where will it take you? And will you be good at it? That's the things that we're going to consider going through this video. So at Heath Lane Academy, we follow the EdXL GCSE specification, and we'll explore and be tested on 5 really interesting topics over the whole course. Your knowledge and understanding of the topics will be assessed over 3 exam papers, and they'll be sat at the end of the 2-year course. You already have some knowledge of the topics that we study at GCSE. There's a couple of surprises in there, but we'll build on that knowledge that you already have. So the 5 topics that we cover in the GCSE over the course of 2 years are medicine in Britain from around 1250, which is the medieval period, right up to the present day, including the British sector of the Western Front during World War I. Something completely different for you is a unit of work on the American West, and then we have a unit on Henry VIII and his ministers, not his wife, but his ministers. And then finally, the Weimar and Nazi Germany unit of work. So just at the moment in Year 9, we've already started looking at ancient medicine to give you a bit of background knowledge on this unit of work if history takes your fancy. When you start your GCSE, we're going to be looking at medieval medicine, the Renaissance medicine period. That's when science really starts to develop. Medicine through the 18th and 19th century, right up to the modern day NHS that we know and love. Within this unit, there's a really in-depth study into medicine on the Western Front between 1914 and 1918. Now this looks at the development of medicine and medical practices in relationship to war and the conditions in the trenches. It's a really in-depth piece of work that really hones your skills on using sources and being able to interpret those. So for the American West, which is a really curveball of a unit for us, completely different to what you've studied at any point during Key Stage 3, but it looks at the American West and it looks at American expansionism into sort of the plains of the middle America, and right from the Atlantic coast thousands of miles across to the Pacific coast on the other side, and how the Americans were able to continue to expand and settle out into those areas of America. This unit looks at Henry and his ministers, with Henry and Wolsey and the relationship between those two. Henry's Great Matter, no prizes for guessing what that was, and Henry and Cromwell, and then moving on to the Reformation of the English Church and the Pilgrimage of Grace. Weimar and Nazi Germany is concentrated on the interwar years between the First and the Second World War. You'll look at the Weimar Republic, that's pre-Hitler. You'll look at how Hitler's rise to power occurred in more depth, and of course how the Nazis controlled Germany and the dictatorship that surrounded that. You'll also look at life in Nazi Germany during these years. Be clear that this is the interwar years. It doesn't go any further than 1939. So where can history take you? And why study it? Well, I'll just say for the sheer love of it. However, there are practical things that can come out of studying history. You develop those skills, the analysis that's involved, the critical thinking and the problem solving. You're evaluating, weighing up that evidence, your reason and arguing ability. These are all skills that you can hone whilst you're studying history. Ethics behind it all. Applying your empathy to the people from history, the situations that you study. And of course verbal communication, but more importantly written communication is vital in the study of history, especially at GCSE. Where will those skills take you? Well, they could take you into career paths in law, business, politics, the media and journalism, research and administration. So, will you be any good at it? Is that a question that you need an answer to? Well, everyone can get better at history. That is a fact. However, to exceed at GCSE history, you really need the following skills: reading, writing, and remembering your knowledge. And I'll tell you why that is. Now, we can all get better at reading if we practice. You'll need to be the kind of person who enjoys reading and likes reading on your own, independently. Some of the information you'll be tested on will be on primary written sources and historians' written interpretations. So it's really important that you can use a key of your reading skill to unlock what those sources tell you. We'll also expect you to read articles and books that we suggest along the way, so that motivation to read has to come from within, and hopefully the subject will encourage you to do that reading. And remember, you get better at reading with practice. The history course does require you to do extended pieces of writing. Many questions in the exam papers will be extended pieces of writing, essay style questions that require extended answers. That means lots of extended writing practice in class and in your own time as homework assignments. Why elephants never forget? Well, if you're going to study history, I hope you like decorating your bedroom with post-it notes, because these really do help you to memorise the facts that you're going to need to be able to recall for those exams. So you need to be the kind of person who works hard to memorise those facts off by heart, somebody who's not afraid of keeping on going at it until they succeed. There's a lot of stuff to remember in the GCSE, and we will help you through this and give you hints and tips on how to succeed on retaining that information long term. Remember, everyone can get better at history. Well, Year 9, I hope that gives you a clearer understanding of what to expect at GCSE History. I know Year 9, most of you absolutely love your history. Some of you might not be quite convinced that you are going to be able to do it. So what I do suggest is that you talk to people that have done their GCSE History. Perhaps you know someone and they can give you the take on what it's like as a student to actually take the course. You need to find out more details. You're a details person and you need to know exactly what's involved in all of those units of work. Then check out the Edexcel website on the screen now. Miss Paul, fabulous history teacher. So excited to get her hands on Year 9s coming into Year 10 next year to take their GCSEs. She'll answer any of your questions, so just give her an email if you have any. And finally, we can get you some examples of students' work once we're back in school, so that you can see examples of those essay style answers, and then you'll be able to make a more informed choice. But my advice to you is, if you love history and you're willing to work hard, then choose it as an option, because you won't go wrong. You will get better and better and better at history. Love it, work hard, can't fail to succeed.